This was a heartbreaker for the Raiders. Welcome into Raiders Gameday. Amber Theoharis along with the Hall of Famer Eric Allen. And there is no way to cut it, Raider Nation. We feel the same way you do. A 25-24 loss in a game absolutely the Raiders should have won. They are now 1-3. They outplayed the Bears in so many facets of the game. And I know all the way up to countdown here, you were just shaking your head in disbelief that the game ends with a Josh Blackwell. I don't even know who Josh Blackwell is. He blocks the field goal attempt from Daniel Carlson that would have been the game winner. Probably. We don't know. They would have gotten the ball back with 38
It'll been a game winner.
Left.
It would have been a game winner.
We felt pretty confident about it. So unlikely. Just let's even start with that one play.
Yeah.
So unlikely for that to happen.
Usually, as we've seen in the near past, is you get that pressure from in the middle. The guys getting their hands up and get the block. Very rarely in the National Football League do you get an edge guy who's able to bend down, be able to launch himself without running into the kicker and make that play. And it's just, man, it just takes all the wind out of your sails after that terrific performance from Ashton, Jeanty, just incredible day-to-day. And then Max Crosby and the rest of his defensive guys outside of that last drive. What an incredible football game from our guy, Max Crosby. But this is going to hurt for a long time, Amber.
It really is, because special teams struggled so much in that loss against the Commanders, and they come out and they have a solid game. And then Dylan Lobby puts them in a great field position with that final kickoff return there right after the DeAndre Swift touchdown. If I told you that the Raiders were going to have a minute 27 seconds, 2 timeouts, and get the ball, return it to the 42-yard line, you got to like their chances to win that game in a 1-point game.
Without a doubt, being able to dominate the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure how many yards rushing we had. We're way over 200 yards rushing.
240.
240 yards rushing. Did an amazing job. Both dual running backs doing a great job. But you think, with that kind of time left, with the ability to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage, you're going to find a way to get a first down, couple first downs, and not only score, but be able to put yourself in a situation where you can take a chance, say, hey, you know what? We can kick the field goal here, or we can pound it in the middle, get this first down, and hopefully get a touchdown.
The fact that it's on 3rd and 2, you're thinking you're going to get a first down there, and Ashton Jeanty, who has had a phenomenal day, we're going to talk to him in just a bit, he runs into the tackles. I mean, it was a bizarre, I don't know. That was a tough position to be in, and then you're forced to take the field goal earlier than you wanted to. You don't want to hand it back to them with almost 40 seconds
left. Because in that point, you get the first down. Now you can really dictate terms. They're going to start to run the clock a little bit. So now the Bears are going to have to probably use some timeouts. So you're going to put them in a situation where if you're lining up to kick a field goal with 20-something seconds left, the Bears have no timeouts. So it was a weird call. You know, after having so much success running the football today, it just seemed like this football team had a better option to be able to run the ball in that situation.
And Ashton Jeanty, I mean, what more could you ask? And a breakout game for this young man, for this young rookie. He had 140 in his entire first 3 weeks of the season. He has 144 rushing yards. He had 138 today, and that's 21 carries, isn't even 25. You know, you want to get him up to maybe 25. He had 6.6 yards a carry and 3 touchdowns. And it's just a shame that we aren't celebrating a win that he would have contributed so much to. And I want to give the offensive line some credit, because everybody took the entire week bashing the offensive line. And you can tell that they worked very hard. And having Jackson Powers-Johnson in there was a big difference, having him healthy at guard. He was out blocking, making some phenomenal plays. So, I mean, to see so many things corrected from last week and still lose the game. But let's be real, if you're going to lose a turnover battle 4-1, you will rarely win the game
in the
NFL. 4-1. I have covered this game for 27 years. I don't think I've seen many games where the team that threw the ball away or gave the ball up 4 times won the game. And that's the reality. And Geno Smith had a rough game.
Yeah, he did. And when you're looking at the numbers and you're like, wow, what a great performance by the offensive line. And we talked about that. I thought interior-wise, we had to kind of show up today. It was kind of, you show up today or we're in a big-time trouble here. They showed up, did an amazing job getting to the second level. I think JPJ had a couple opportunities where he took care of his guy, got to the second level, and then led the running back down the field. So really, really encouraging as far as that interior offensive line. And then when you talk about the running backs, how they're able to do a great job of really getting to the second level after being contacted early on. Just all over the running game. Just amazing job today. Just so difficult now to go back to next week and think about, hey, we're off a loss. Now we have to find a way to get back on our horse again, be able to get some positive energy into this building after a difficult loss like that.
Geno Smith is going to have to bounce back. He's the team starting
Yes.
quarterback.
Yeah.
There's no time to hang his head. With the way the defense plays, special teams, the offensive line, the run game, Geno Smith is going to have to do better. And look, after his third pick early in the third quarter, rarely did Chip Kelly throw the football.
Right.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was like, we don't feel comfortable doing it. And just in the Silver and Black show leading into this week, we're saying this is a guy that leads the league in big plays.
Yes.
15 yards or more.
Yeah.
That downfield, we need that confidence.
Right.
That's what the Raiders are going to need to win this game. But switching over to the defense,
Oh, man.
they were, with all those turnovers, they were had to defend on a very short field,
yeah.
like they did a couple times in the past couple of weeks. And man, did they make they forced turnovers themselves.
Yeah,
they made stances. They gave up just 6 points off of those turnovers. I mean, you couldn't have asked a better performance from the defense. But let's go out to Allegiant Stadium right now and bring in Ashton, Jeanty. And Ashton, I really appreciate you joining us, Amber Theoharis, along with Eric Allen. I said earlier, I wish we were celebrating a win because, man, do you deserve to be celebrated for the breakout game. First, take me through just, have you even had a chance to be in the locker room? I can't imagine how deflating this must be.
Yeah, we were just in there, broke it down. Definitely not a good feeling, and, you know, just now we got to get back and look at how we can get better and learn from this.
Ashton, anything different in practice that led to this really breakout performance for you?
I mean, I think me personally, I took a step up to just watch more film, you know, work harder, run harder in practice. And, I mean, O-line, they've been doing a hell of a job. And they did another great job tonight. And, you know, I was able to see things clearly and make plays for the team.
You have to give them credit because they really did take a bashing the last week for the performance against the Commanders. Come out, made so many adjustments. What did you see particularly from JPJ? I mean, his effort was visible to many of us watching the game.
Yeah, I mean, just a high-energy guy. I mean, he's giving effort on every play, getting great movement off the line. And, you know, it's always great to have a guy like that to run behind. I mean, all the guys on the whole line are great to run behind.
Well, man, it seems like there's a point in the game where you can kind of get in that groove and feel yourself today. I saw that several times today. There's never one person who's free is going to bring you down. Did you feel like you could kind of dominate the game today?
Most definitely. I mean, I felt we came out, set the tone well, and then, you know, throughout the game we just kept wearing them down. But we just got to be able to capitalize in the red zone, and, you know, we can't turn over the ball, and, you know, that starts with me.
How much focus will be on not turning over the ball and ball protection? Because, you know, you have to think about what this defense did, and with all the turnovers, they were still able to keep you guys so close in the game. I mean, what can you say about Max Crosby and the defense and the way they performed in the face of adversity today?
Yeah, they did an amazing job. I mean, getting pressure on the quarterback, fitting up the run game. I mean, they just did a great job today. But, you know, if we can minimize those turnovers, you know, the game would have looked different for us.
Talk us a little bit about your counterpart today, Raheem. First time up all season, had a couple big spark and impact plays. Talk to us a little bit about what he meant to you today.
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, been a guy I've been looking at and following in terms of his work ethic. You know, wasn't active, you know, just the last 3 games, but, you know, this week he gets out there and he has a great game, and that just shows his persistence. And, you know, no matter how things are going, he still, you know, works hard every single day.
Ashton, we're going to let you go, but so much to build on and a lot to be proud of. We're really looking forward to you contributing to more wins coming up in the future. If you keep playing like that, we know good things are going to happen. So thanks for joining us in a tough loss.
Congratulations, my man.
Yep, thank you.
All right, let's go back out to Allegiant Stadium. Pete Carroll's now taking the podium. Let's hear what the head coach had to say.
Go.
Pete, I know talk about over here lessons in terms of the putting this all together, but when it's the veteran quarterback throwing 3 interceptions like that, I mean, I guess it goes without saying that you just can't have that happen from anybody.
Yeah, I mean, those were huge plays in the first half. I think they're big third down opportunities, third down conversions, and they really on both plays they did the same thing, and then we fell for it and screwed it up. Yeah, you can't expect to turn the ball over like that and win. I mean, it's almost, it doesn't happen. But we overcame it because the defense was so spectacular in the first half, of making those stops. They were great. And it gave us a chance. The score could have been ridiculous after the first quarter, but it wasn't. And so we learn, we grow, and we have to do better. I know Geno's sick. The 2 plays that they pick on him, the first 2 were just, we just didn't see it. Got fooled by the coverage, and they got him. The other one on the crossing route, it's a play we throw all the time, and we rip in there. And I don't know if the ball was behind the receiver or not. I couldn't tell from my vantage point, but the guy makes a heck of a play too. Again, unfortunately. And the game comes all the way down to we had to stop them in the last drive, and we didn't get it done, unfortunately. And we went right down to getting field goal range, and the guy comes off the edge and makes a block, made a great play there. We got it since field goals were invented. You got to get the guy on the edge, and we didn't get him. So it's tough to come in here twice, for our fans and not come out of here with wins. We really set our sights on getting this thing jump started today, and we didn't quite get that done. So it's still out there for us.
Pete, after Geno's 3rd interception, he now leads the NFL. Was there any consideration to going with Kenny at all?
No, we're not there.
Max Crosby obviously was somebody that played just a fantastic game. Can you talk? I know it's in a loss, but can you talk about the energy that he brought and kind of holding that thing together, like you said, to basically keep you in the game?
Yeah, so whether you win or lose, the facts remain. And he was incredible today. He has been every time he's been on the field for us since we've been there. I mean, every time, whether it was preseason or not, that's the guy that shows up. Just incredible plays and playmaking, and he's doing it clean. He's not getting, he's not having to cheat on line of scrimmage or anything. He's just a spectacular football player, and to tip the ball up like that and to get it going on the big pick is a huge play, man. But he doesn't practice, and so it's not unfamiliar. It's just incredible that he's on our team and he's doing what he's doing. There's a lot of guys that played well on defense today and did a nice job. So, but Max that was an incredible game.
Pete, do you have any updates on Eric Stokes and Colton Miller?
Yeah, Eric sprained his knee a little bit and was back up running and thought he could go, and then they decided not. With Colton, he sprained his ankle.
Even though, Pete, back over here, how would you describe Ashton Jeanty's performance, even though you guys didn't come away with the win?
Say that again, I missed
How would you describe Ashton Jeanty's performance? It seemed like he got the breakout game you guys been looking for.
Yeah, he certainly did. We ran the football for a ton. We protected all day, no sacks and 200 and something, 30, 40 yards rush, whatever it was. After all of what I'm sure was being talked about, I was thrilled for the guys up front. It was a great game for the offensive line, and to see Ashton get cooking like that, you can see how special he is. They can't tackle him in the open field, and he makes it look easy, which really good players do. So we're very fortunate that this game finally came. We've been waiting for it, and everybody felt like it was just an eyelash from happening, and now that he's busted, you can see it. So. Raheem did really well too, and complimented the 1-2 punch from those 2 guys was really excellent today. What did we rush for? 240 or something like that? 240. Yeah, I mean that's a fantastic game for us, and so it's a great statement for us moving forward and getting better. You guys can go nuts on the stats and the numbers in from one week to the next, but it takes time, and you have to look at the big picture of things to really assess what's going on. I'm thrilled that we were able to do that today.
Was there enough good today to keep that big picture in mind for you, despite the loss, and it's still early?
Heck yeah. I mean, we undertook our defenses undertook about as much duress as you can in this 4 games of this season, and the leadership and the mentality and Patrick's job with these guys and the coaches to keep those guys on that kind of an edge throughout, regardless of the situation, is incredibly valuable and will continue to be a valuable aspect of our team. And they know. They know. They have that feeling. They're not worried about it. Whatever the tough situation is, they're okay about it. And we've had way more than we need to work at that stuff.
You guys have more? Good.
Thanks.
I mean, really quick, just the one thing that stands out is when he says our defense has taken as much duress as you can, and they've done a great job. And that a little bit to me is say, the offense got to be better.
It has to be, real quick, like fundamental football is something we talked about all last week, coming into this week. They're going to have to do that in tackling, blocking, all those things. We squared away. Protecting the football is another fundamental part of winning football, and that's something we did not do. And that's extremely frustrating for everyone, especially if you're getting a great dose of running game from both your running backs. You're getting defensive guys stepping up. We talked about tackling last week. Today, the tackling was incredible, doing just a great job. So
teams play better. I mean, there was so much to build on, but the turnovers killed him. And we're going to hear from Kirk Morrison, one of the voice of Raider Nation Radio. He's going to have some great perspective on what happened today for this loss. That's coming up next, right here on Raiders Game Day. Raiders Game Day is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Modelo, a reward for those with a fighting spirit. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. And by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. The Raiders lose this one to the Bears 25-24, a heartbreaker. They're now 1-3. Let's go back out to Allegiant Stadium and welcome in our colleague, Kirk Morrison, who was calling the game on Raider Nation Radio. Kirk, look, so many things we talked about needed to be corrected coming into this game, and how frustrating is it to see so many of those actually corrected and still lose the game? Let's start first with containing the run of quarterbacks. We said these linebackers, the edge, cannot allow Caleb Williams to kill him on the outside, and he did not until the final drive. Take us through this.
Well, this is how the NFL works, right? Last week you had some problems and challenges in stopping the run, stopping the quarterback run, and this week it was an added, I thought, emphasis on stopping that and not allowing Caleb Williams to go out there and make those types of plays. But when it comes down to game-ending situations, Caleb Williams made the plays that were needed, and the Raiders just didn't make enough of those plays. But I thought the overall was fantastic. They held this rushing attack under 100 yards. They did what they were supposed to do. It's just that sometimes you run out of time. And Caleb Williams, I give him a ton of credit. He made plays, but defensively, I thought the Raiders did as much as they could in that situation. They just had a counter at the end. Well, throughout the game, the Raiders were the one being the hammer and not the nail.
Yeah, Kirk, you've seen a lot of football, and I tell you, when it comes down to that field goal at the end, everyone's kind of just biting their fingernails, hoping that you get that that kicker to get it in there. But before that, talk to us a little bit about how, and we talked about it earlier about the interior offensive line and what a great job they did.
Well, they did a great job throughout. I thought Ashton had so many great holes to run through. I love the way that he switched up his running style, right? He went back to the Michael Myers Halloween style of running, man. I mean, to me, he got to the second and third level, and that was great to see. But there was some interior push. I thought early on, though, Andrew Billings of the Bears, he had some push on Meredith. They made some changes. I thought that Chip Kelly did a fantastic job of making sure that Ashton was getting downhill. They ran him on some sweeps and things like that. The only pushback that I have is in a critical 3rd-and-1 situation, you ran a ball out of shotgun, which allowed the Chicago Bears defense to really get up the field, and it stopped Ashton Jeanty in the backfield. The Raiders have to kick a field goal from there, which we know was blocked. Really wish they would have been able to convert on that 3rd down, and now we're talking possibly a different ball game because the kick probably would have been a little bit closer, and maybe you don't have that opportunity for the Bears to block it at the end.
You just missed when you said that. I put my hands up in the air because it's exactly one of the first things that we said. Is that was a strange call for us. That really did kind of put them in a different situation. Like you said, it could have been a different outcome. Let's talk about the tackling. The tackling on defense was much better. As a former linebacker, when you struggle the way the Raiders did against the Commanders, what is that week like in practice? And we really saw Patrick Graham fix quite a few things.
Yeah, me and EA talked about it before the game. So many people were down on the Raiders for their tackling last week. And I actually said it wasn't that bad. It was a couple of runs. And the yardage made it look a lot worse than what it really was. It was just guys not playing with great leverage. Well, today they played with great leverage. How many times did you see guys hold an edge on the outside, turn the ball back, or just relentless pursuit to get guys down? I thought it was a great team effort. It was a solid tackling performance, and they did all that they could throughout this entire game. Yes, it eats away at you all week because that was what everyone talked about. Oh, the Raiders' rush defense. Oh, the Raiders can't tackle. They can't. Those guys came up, they showed out, and, man, I mean, Devin White made a couple plays in the backfield. Max had a Hall of Fame type of day when you think of all the stats that he had. So, to me, it ate away at those defenders, and they came out and they played with their hair on fire. I have nothing bad about to say with the Raiders' rush defense and the way they tackled. They definitely took it to heart this week.
Yeah, we also talked – I mean, Max had an incredible day, but let's talk about those other guys who stepped up to make sure they were able to swing that ball back to Max. Talking about Kuntz, Tyree, talk about those guys too.
Man, Thomas Booker really is one of the guys that got it started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was bench pressing the Dollman, the center for the Chicago Bears. He's bench pressing him, throwing him out of the way, man, and you could felt the energy. The one thing I would say about the defense today, it was a bend but don't break mentality. How many times were they put in bad situations because of turnovers, whether it's a Geno Smith interception, turnover on downs, or the fumble by Ashton Jeanty? The defense, they didn't go out there and frown. No, let's make a stop. Let's hold them to a field goal. And you saw that consistently. The Raiders are only in this game because of the defense. And so I thought that overall, I love the way that some of those players you mentioned, Kuntz, was outstanding. Caillou Blue-Kelly made some couple tackles. The linebackers, look, Jamal Adams made some plays on the outside. Even Charles Snowden came in here and made some plays. So it was multiple guys that came in there, and even young Darian Porter. Stokes goes down, Porter came right in. He made some plays. We didn't call his name, and EA, maybe that's a good thing, right? When you don't call a guy's name because they're doing their job. And so everybody had a hand into it. It's just unfortunately that I just thought that at the end of the day, defensively, offensively, it probably wasn't the perfect game, but I walk away feeling like the better team did not win today's football game. That's the hard part for me. I felt like the Raiders were the much better team. They dominated throughout. They made the plays when they're needed, but when they walk away with a loss because of those things that you just couldn't fix in game.
But the key is you got to put 4 quarters together. And when you look at the third quarter versus the fourth quarter, let me just give you some numbers. The Raiders gave up 168 total yards in the first 3 quarters, 103 total yards in the fourth quarter. So we kind of talk about a complete game. But I want to get your opinion on Geno Smith. You know, with every interception, are you concerned? And how do they fix it? Especially now that we know there's a great running game to bring into the next game. Are you worried, or do you think this will work itself out?
Yeah, I'm a little worried because it was a similar coverage in which he was getting intercepted on. It was a Sir Robert coverage, right? EA, the strong safety in the middle of the field, it's Kevin Byard. That's an all-pro safety who's been in this league forever. All he did was watch the eyes of Geno Smith. I talked about it earlier. The Raiders have to convert on first and second down. When I say first and second down conversions, I love when they're in the third and short, the third and mediums, because it allows Geno Smith to get rid of the ball quickly. When Geno gets in the 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 plus, he holds on to the football to allow those plays to develop. He stares it down. And in those 2 interceptions by Byard, all he did was watch Geno Smith stare him down, and he picked them off. So those are the ones that I don't truly like from Geno. And then he forced that one coming out of the second half to where he's getting to the out of bounds. He's going to his right, and he forced something to Jacoby Myers that just wasn't there. Geno wants to do the right thing, and I get it, but sometimes the best play is getting to the next down, and that's what he has to work on. There's no quarterback situation. Do you sit him? Do you bench him? No. I think you have to work through this, and this is only 4 games in. I hate the hole that the Raiders are in at 1-3, but there's still some room for improvement, and I'll tell you, Geno Smith is going to be the first guy to say, I have to be better because of what you mentioned. The running game was excellent. I thought a lot of guys did their part, and Geno Smith didn't do his part.
Well, Kirk, that's kind of the chess match, really, of the defensive coordinator,
Right.
offensive coordinator. How can we get this team that is struggling in 3rd and long into 3rd and long? So that calls for your
Correct.
offensive coordinator to help you get to that point where you're seeing things clear and you're processing. What do you think Chip needs to do to be able to really make sure that Geno's playing his best football?
Well, I think the first thing was last week the conversation was, this offensive line, right? But the offensive line, I thought, had a good day. I didn't see Geno Smith having to run for his life or be sacked numerous times like we saw last week in Washington. So they gave him the time that was needed. I believe that Geno has to really trust what he's seeing. Trust his ability to say, you know what, I've got the protection. I just got to make the right decision. And I thought there were some opportunities for Geno to take off and run and get some yards, get to the next down. It's okay if the play doesn't work or doesn't break down, but Chip Kelly, I think they have to find this chemistry between the both of them to where they're seeing the field the same way, because today it just seemed like one instance Chip saw it one way, Geno may have seen it a different way because there's just too many turnovers, and this is now a pattern. We've seen this a couple games ago, and you say, okay, they got rid of it in Washington, but it came back again this week. So this is where you go back to the drawing board against a team in Indianapolis next week that I think is one of the better teams in all of the NFL.
Yeah, got to make some better decisions. And I think the best thing, though, that Geno has is knows he has the run game going into the game against the Colts. And that play-action pass hopefully comes back as a result. And some of those deep balls that we didn't see in this game that we know are there, would love to see them. Kirk Morrison, always so great to talk a little football with you. Hope for a better outcome next time, but so great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, my man.
That's it. Hey, it's a week-to-week league, everybody. You flush this, you got to move on. Next week, try to get a victory.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kirk. We appreciate it. And Ashton Jeanty is the one big thing that you got to take away from this. He was the first Raiders rookie today to record a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown since Bo Jackson. Bo knows.
Bo knows ball.
Ashton knows.
That's right.
Ashton knows. Since 1987.
Wow.
Like
you weren't even born then.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't born then. You're exactly right. This is exactly what I said at the end of Kirk Morrison there. I think if we just combine, now that there's this run game, and Raheem Mostert has a lot to do with that. I don't want to gloss over that.
That's right.
He has a great two-punch in the 1-2 punch now. Bringing that into the Colts, attacking the Colts, and then having the play-action pass. And Geno just having a little more confidence to make the right decisions. We did see some hesitation, and you just don't want to see that. You want to say, it's all right, like, just let's be more decisive.
Yeah, the one thing we saw breaking down film in the offseason was he can make every throw. I mean, his accuracy under pressure, and of course, he can extend plays. You're just not seeing that consistently. You know you have a deep threat in Trey. I mean, Trey is killing players right now. You have Brock Bowers, even though he's not 100%, he can still dominate the middle of the football field, and now you have the running game. So you're right. We have every aspect of an offense that can make it a situation where we're dominating at the line of scrimmage and really dictating the defense what we can do. We just haven't been able to piece it all together in one game yet. So hopefully next week will be that game when we can piece it all together, have the running game, have the short game going, have the deep plays with the play-action pass, because this running game that we had today, it's on film. Everybody knows now. So get ready for that 8th or 9th guy in the box. So now you're able to open it up downfield.
Throw it downfield.
That's right.
That's right. And like Pete Carroll said, it takes time. Like it does. He's right. He's done this a long time. It takes time sometimes. New offensive coordinator, a lot of young guys. Let's see it all come together. All right, we're going to take a break here on Raiders Game Day. When we come back, we're going to go back out to Allegiant Stadium. Geno Smith getting ready to take the podium. We'll hear what the quarterback has to say next. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. This is a tough one to digest, and we're trying to break it down. And look, there was a lot of good things. Still, the Raiders lost in the end, 25-24 to the Chicago Bears. Really, they outplayed this team completely until the very end, but it was the turnovers that really killed them. And we always like to see what Raider Nation is saying out there. Let's check out Voice of a Nation, and here's what they had to say. Paul Gutierrez, Max Crosby giving off Khalil Mack circa 2016 vibes right now. He definitely.
Yeah, he was.
It was Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
type of performance.
With the pick?
Oh, he tipped it and picked it.
And picked it.
He got both.
You got to take it to the house, though, Max.
That's right. We could use that. Levi Edwards from Raiders.com, he says, moral of the story, give the ball to Ashton, Jeanty, and open space. I
2
think
weeks ago, he would have been probably kicked off of social media for saying that.
And JT the Brick. He
JT!
says, I love the energy and blocking of JPJ. Keep being dominant, Raider Nation. That's my impression of him. And look at this was one of my favorite plays.
Yeah.
Get out there. Boom! Get off me.
No regard for his body.
He's like a
football
missile.
player.
He's just a missile.
He's one of those guys. He's turning out to be one of those players that it doesn't matter whatever era, he could have been a Raider. He could have been 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever.
He does seem like a little bit of a throwback, doesn't he?
For sure.
So good to have him back on the offensive line, and I
Yeah.
think that's one of the reasons we saw a lot of improvements from this offensive line. But just, you do have to credit Brendan Carroll. He took a lot of heat.
Yes, he did.
got that unit ready to come back out and compete, and they really did a great job. Let's take a break right now. When we come back, Geno Smith is getting ready to take the podium. We're going to go back out to Allegiant Stadium and hear from the Raiders quarterback. That's coming up next on Raiders Game Day. Intermountain Health understands that life can be a challenging game, and mental wellness is vital to our overall health. It takes courage to admit when we're not okay, and even more to reach out. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, call or text 988 or visit strongestplay.com for mental wellness resources. Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And by Twitch, watch, discover, join in.
Good evening.
Geno, you talked back in May about being brought in to lead this offense and efficiency and how this offense needs to run. And now you're leading the NFL in interceptions. What do you got to do to fix that?
Number one, take care of the ball, not throw interceptions. That's the simplest way I can put it to you. But, first of all, I owe it to my teammates, really, to go out there and play better. And I felt like we had a great week of practice. I felt like the process was there. I felt like, I was feeling good about what I was seeing. The game plan was great. Guys fought their tails off. Guys deserve to get this win, and I let those guys down. So there's a lot of things I'm gonna have to fix within myself. That's the reality. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I got to be a lot better, and I am a lot better. But it hasn't showed up. The guy that I'm supposed to be hasn't showed up yet. And so, I take pride in fixing this stuff.
Is it an anger right now, or a disappointment, or a frustration, or all of the above type of response to something like this?
Yeah, more so just anger. I know I got to be better, and for me as a player, like I said, man, I pride myself on my process and the way that I go about things, and there's some things that I got to do better. I mean, it's flat out. And it's in terms of my play on the field. I felt like I said, we had a great week of practice. Preparation was there. Guys were dialed in. You saw how Ashton ran the ball today. You saw how the line played today. You saw how our guys were getting open and how our defense played inspired. How our crowd was electric throughout the game. And if you look at the difference in the game, it was the turnovers. So simply put, I got to be better.
Geno, you brought up Ashton, so two-parter for you. Been waiting sort of for his time to come, right? And he talked about him getting the ball more. And now that balance is there, and he has the day that he has. If you can comment on that. And then second part, in terms of your turnovers, do you say anything to him afterwards? Do you you have to feel that obviously he has a career day, sort of that breakout moment that we've been waiting on. Not sure if you had a chance to talk to him. Or if it's got to weigh on you as the veteran, right?
Yeah, shoot, man, Ashton had a great day. He's a great player. He's the guy who we've always seen. Like I said, the outside, I've been in this thing long enough to know how it goes, man. One week you're the best, one week you're the worst. It's just how how it goes. But the reality is that you got to stay within yourself and play your game. And for him, he's only going to get better. Our team's only going to get better. Offense is only going to get better. And I'm for damn sure going to get better. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hanging my head about nothing. That's just not how I am. But I am frustrated. I am upset the way that, I turned the ball over and gave those guys chances and gave our defenses, short fields to play with, and they're playing like that. I mean, I'm putting us in tough situations over and over again. And like I said, that's on me. I'm not going to look anywhere else, but at myself when it comes to that.
Geno, last week you were running for your life, 5 sacks but no interceptions. This week, no sacks in 3. I'm just curious, was it forcing the ball maybe today? Do you have any? Can you put your finger on what happened?
I feel like the first 2, I thought Kevin made great plays. They're playing Tampa 2. He's the Tampa safety player. He's carrying the vertical. As soon as I cut the ball loose, he stops, he dives and catches one. The other one, he kind of just hit him, right in the chest. So those are 2. I mean, again, I'm putting it on myself, obviously, but sometimes they make great plays. And then the last one was just a terrible throw. And the reality is, again, it's that I'm better than that, and I know that. And like I said, on the outside, I don't know what the outside is going to say. I really don't care. But internally, I hold myself to a very high standard, and right now I haven't met that standard. So there's a lot of hard work that needs to be done, and that's all I can focus on is making this stuff right.
Geno, when it's a loss like this where you basically can say, look, -3 turnovers, it's hard to win in the NFL like that. When it comes down to that and so many other things were good, is it easier to try to not move on from it, but just say, hey, there was some good, if not for the turnovers. So if we don't do that, we're a much better team, and this result might be different moving forward.
I mean, you can't get that back. So, yeah, in hindsight, you can look at it that way, but, that's not reality. That's not real life. Can't get those turnovers back, can't get those plays back, can't get the throws back. You got to make the play when it's there to be made. That's the reality of this game, and that's what the great ones do. I got to fight, I got to fight to get this stuff right. I got to make it right for my teammates. I owe it to them. I owe it to the organization. I owe it to the fans. I owe it to everybody. I got to get this stuff right.
Your concern level with your blindside protector, Colton Miller, going down and getting carted off late?
Yeah, obviously, hoping for the best for Colton. It seemed like, may turn out better than we expected. And, he's a warrior, man. Colton's a dog, man. He played another tremendous game. I think he's one of the best left tackles in the game. Just honored to be his teammate, honored to play alongside him, hoping for a speedy recovery. But, we got guys that'll step up as next man up, and we got guys that are capable. So, great week of practice, preparation, get back to it.
Both you and Pete Carroll, veterans at your crafts. What does he say to you after a game like this?
Man, Coach Carroll's the best. He's always going to be positive, love me up, say all the right things, keep my spirits high. But I'm too competitive to just go about it like that, man. That's just not how I roll. He's supposed to say that. My teammates are going to say they got my back. They're supposed to say that. But and I know they do. But I owe it to those guys, like I told you. I owe it to them to play better. We deserve to win. These guys deserve to win, man. They put the work in throughout the week. We got some of the hardest working guys I've been around. And when I let them down like that, I feel terrible. I feel terrible about it, so I got to get it right.
Last question, Glenn. 1 win, 3 losses, Geno, and I think you could take bits and pieces of every game. At some point, 60 minutes of football from the Raiders. Is this a team that can right the ship and be a winning program consistently?
Hell yeah, we're going to be a winning program. We are going to be that. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
All right, thank you, Geno.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geno.
Looking at the end there, a good point that we see the bits and pieces. They got to put it together.
They do. And listen, it's difficult when you're the quarterback of this football team or any football team
to stand up
and you're
there.
not playing very, very well. But you have to appreciate, what he's trying to do and what he's doing, taking accountability.
He took accountability. He wants to get better. When we come back, more to come. EA is going to break down some key plays you may want to check out. That's next. Coming up on Raiders Game Day. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. Overshadowed by the loss is one of the best performances from the Raiders defense we have seen in a long time, and often when their back was up against the wall on a short field. To break it down, let's go over to EA for more. EA.
Thanks, Amber. Thanks, Amber. I tell you what, we've been waiting for this for the beginning of the season, really. Usually teams shy away from Max and not allowing him to get involved in the game. Here we see first quarter, 4 minutes ago. We're in a very difficult situation here. We're going to circle our guy, Max. Look at the great effort. Not only does he get the break, he gets the tip, he gets the pick. He's trying to take it to the house. He's just been a dominant football player his whole career, but we really love to see how he affects the game early, and then he's able to get the ball. I thought he was going to take it to the house, Amber, but again, just the ability to be able to get up when you're not getting pressured. He's getting double teamed. He gets the pick. He's so excited. He is just a really dominant football player. And if you're playing behind him, man, you're so excited about his ability to dominate a football game. Here he's going to play inside, chase the quarterback down. It's not a sack, but a tackle for a loss. He leads the league in some of these categories, but he's such an incredible player. He's lost a little bit of weight, Amber, I think, this year for his endurance. So he can play with this kind of attitude from one play all the way to the last play. We really, really have to continue to appreciate Max Crosby and how he gets after the quarterback, and he really inspires everyone on the defensive side of the ball. Now, on the other side, what have we been waiting for? We've been waiting for our guy, Ashton Jeanty, to get involved. Here, the cuts. Look how he runs through arm tackles, and then we're talking about being able to have those explosive, impactful plays, runs through the tackle. That's one thing you're always going to notice about Ashton. He's able to have that great lower body strength and run through off this great play fake from the reverse, but how he's able to run through contact, continue to make big plays time and time again. We've been waiting for this young man to explode on the scene. Today was that day. He was able to explode. He had a great dance afterwards. And now we're just going to have a check down route, right? If they're going to play this soft coverage, we're going to find a way to get my man the ball. And again, what he's do? Run through arm tackles. That's one of the things he does great, like the dance here at the end. But if we can continue to get our guy the football and really take the pressure off the line and Geno from being able to have to sit in the pocket and throw the ball deep, these are the kind of things this young man can do. I was so happy for him, Amber, that he had this kind of day. Really, really, we let the Bears get away from a win. Not going to let them get away anymore, Amber. Back to you.
Yeah, run game and a good defense. That's how you build a winning team, and having a guy like this will help. Check out one big number for today. Max Crosby has 29 career games with multiple tackles for losses. He had 3 of them. Today he is second only behind TJ Watt since 2019 in the NFL. We're going to have much more to come here on Raiders Game Day. When we come back, we're going to take a look ahead and see where do the Raiders go from here. Stick with us. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. All the Raider Nation loved being at Allegiant today. Always so much fun. Saw Jerry Robinson.
I followed
Got
him.
to light the
He went from
torch.
Eagles to Raiders.
Oh,
I went Eagles to St. Louis to Raiders.
And then you went to the Hall of Fame. Earth, Wind, and Fire. It wasn't the 21st of September. It was the 28th of September.
Maybe my all-time great
bands. Yeah.
Yes.
I like Slayer too. Kerry King was a guitarist for Slayer.
Uh-oh.
And we know him, the Super Bowl champion,
Look at
MVP, Jim Plunkett, looking good, my man.
Up there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Jacob Fatu, WWE superstar.
You're lucky I wasn't in the building. I had left already. I'd have went up and tackled him or something.
Body slam him, and I always love seeing Guy Fieri, big fan. Love all of his shows. He's a big Raiders fan. That is for sure. All right, so where do the Raiders go from here? Look, we said there was a lot of good things. 240 rushing yards is a great thing. Holding the other team to less than 70 yards on the ground, good thing. And take a look at the next 3 games for the Raiders. Take a look. You can see that they got Indy coming up.
Indy.
They're going to do that on the road, 3-1.
Right.
That's a team that's 3-1 that lost today to the Rams. The Titans, Then they come back home. So next game of the Legion is what now is an 0-4 team.
Yes.
Hoping that they can get a win there, and then they got to face the Kansas City Chiefs.
Come on now, you
Right
saying
before.
that like you saying that like
They're not
we
your
weren't.
mom's Kansas
All we're
City
worried
Chiefs
about
or
is
whatever
Indy.
they
That's all
say.
we're worried about
Gotta
right
get
now,
the win.
Amber.
Gotta
Indy.
come back. A lot of good things to build on. Gotta
That's
get
right.
it right. So a lot of improvements from last week to this week. Gonna get it right next week. That'll do it for Eric Allen, Amber Theoharis. Raiders lose this one 25-24. See you next time.